We all die in a yellow submarine. I'm Justin.
Who would have thought seaweed would have been bad for your health? I'm Jackie.
Looks like Skates was right. The deep-sea cave flies are bad this year. I'm Sam, and this is The Rift on Stinker Madness.
What's that smell?
I don't know about you, but I'm thirsty as fuck. Thirsty as fuck.
Hey, look at me!
Thrill me.
If you come back in here, I'm gonna hit you with so many rights, you're gonna beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Beg for a left.
Thrill me.
Hey, look at me!
No! What? Hang on!
It stinks.
Hang on!
Get to the chopper! Stinker Madness.
Hello and welcome to Stinker Madness, the podcast
Podcast about
movies. What?
for bad movie lovers. I'm your host, Justin. As always, with me is Sam and Jackie.
Okay, all right, that's fine.
Right.
This week on the show, we've got a movie from 1990 called The Rift, starring Jack Scalia, Arlie Emery, and Ray Weiss. Sam, why don't you go and tell us what the story is here?
Should we do some deep sea sounds for you? As we descend into the ocean, Sam will now take us through the movie.
How do you do a radar sound, like a radar ping? That's just you saying ping. All right, Sam, what's up?
This is actually a really interesting movie. There's not a lot about it, but the interesting thing about it is that this is Dino making his own mockbuster.
Oh?
Yes. The mockbuster's been a thing for a while, and there's always been, like, once the video shelf and the DTV and the blockbusters got huge, but this is at the height of that, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Box office smash, there's going to be something they put around it that the poster is going to make it look like, oh, that maybe we'll get some rentals off of this fake thing,
okay,
like
I know
they do
exactly
on the
what you
Netflix now, right?
Disembodied people floating, spooky blue lit covers that are like, oh man, that's gonna be a good Friday night movie for me and the girlfriend type thing.
Yeah, but usually what happens is that you're not the one making your own mockbuster on your own movie.
He mockbusted his own movie.
Yeah, so Dino did Leviathan at the same time.
Oh my god!
And they spent $30 million on Leviathan,
right?
And then he's like, "Go ahead and make another one for like $2 million. Also, use this script." And there's a lot of reading in between the lines that I had to do on this movie, but the original screenwriter said that it was a science fiction film. He didn't say when it was written, so Dino just yanked a sci-fi script off of the shelf during all those years that he was trying to make Star Wars again and could never do it, and just said, put it underwater.
Oh.
And they crank this thing out at around the same time. And the best part about hedging his own bet was Leviathan was ultimately, even though it was number one for 1 week at the box office, or number two, it only made 15 million. It tanked.
Oh yeah.
This
but
made more money because
no. Leviathan cost 30, it made 15.
Oh, okay.
This one cost 2 million.
Okay, sorry, I was confused.
Supposedly as low as 1.3 million.
I can see it.
I am not seeing a marked difference in the visuals of this film and Leviathan.
The Yellow Submarine looks pretty dumb, but there's quite a few external shots of it that's clearly just in a murky pool. It's a kid's toy that they filmed in a murky pool. Like, hey, it's a submarine. It's not the Andersons models, right?
No, the models were better in Leviathan and they had a bigger pool, but I actually think that for what and if you looked at it, there was in the credits, there was only 2 people credited as modelers.
Oh, geez.
So there was a very small group of people that did all the visuals for this, and I think they did a very good job with the budget and what they had to work with, especially that model, which I think is recycled. I've seen that before.
Yeah. Well, you saw it at the beginning of the movie where they're just talking, or they're standing in a room talking literally in front of the model, like, hey.
Yeah. Well, I think it might have been like an actual toy model that they just added some stuff to and painted yellow.
Oh, so it's like Kit. It was a Firebird, and they glued some shit on it.
They started 90% finished with this model.
Yeah. Go to Walmart, get the coolest looking submarine. Wait, I said the coolest looking submarine you could find at Walmart. God damn it. That's literally just the yellow submarine from the Beatles movie. God damn it.
Yeah. And it came out at that same time that there was just a rash of deep sea movies, and Deep Star 6 was the other one that sucks as bad as Leviathan in this one.
I think it sucks worse.
Deep Star 6, I don't know.
Yeah. The Abyss is there too, and of course The Abyss is an actual good movie. But
the Abyss gets lumped in with these because it has elements of horror.
Yeah.
But it is not a horror movie. It is actually a high science fiction.
And it just happens to take place for most of it being underwater. It's not frightening at all. It's basically just E.T. over again. But
Well, I thought that the graphics for where they were at in the icebergs were very frightening. Like, this is not even close to what you're showing us on camera.
Right.
And you're making it look like, oh, you got plenty of room to go through these icebergs. No, you don't.
Yeah, the filmmaking's not quite it's more horrific than the content that it's displaying.
I also like that in one part they dive down and the little icon or the little green dot that's supposed to be them goes down like halfway through, and then they're like, "All right, release the diver," and they're like, "Clear back up." Okay.
Hey, come on, man! You gotta let me have some job later. Sam, keep talking about the production. Of this movie.
What also makes it interesting is when you see the engineer,
Mueller,
Frank Brana. You're like, I know who this guy is. I've seen this guy everywhere. Why is this guy in the movie? He's a Spanish character actor. It's because Juan Piquer Simon directed it. He, of course, also directed Pod People, Pieces, and Slugs.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's an interesting choice. He had to have a translator because they were going with so many different ethnicities of actors. People were speaking different languages on this film.
Oh, so there's an element of Troll 2 here.
You'll notice some of the actors are very clearly VO'd.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The chef.
Yeah. Francisco.
Yes, the chef is VO'd constantly.
Yeah.
And so Mueller and the chef are basically, he just brings in his own people like, I get to do a movie in Hollywood, kind of. You want to come? Sure. Okay. You're going to die? Of course we're going to die. Jack Scalia, who you mentioned, and Deborah Dare, the couple in the film, and why they're a couple in the film, and how all of the timeline of when it's made and how it's working. They're, of course, soap opera stars. And soap operas right now are as huge as soap operas. They go up and down, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in the late 80s and early 90s, soaps were reaching one of their many peaks. And so you see a lot of the players, the day players in soap operas are really branching out into areas that they probably shouldn't.
Right.
Yeah, like I can see him being a soap opera star, but not her. Because I don't know, like I watch soap operas, and anytime you have a soap opera, the ladies with the short haircuts are always the old ladies that are menacing.
No, sometimes the sisters have short haircuts, and they usually get kidnapped by a third world ruler. You know, like because they get pregnant in real life. And so, we'll just write her that she got kidnapped. And then she'll come back, and he'll be like, what are you doing here?
Okay.
Also, isn't Jack Scalia the grandson of the late Supreme Court Justice Anton Scalia? Anybody? Is that funny? That doesn't sound funny.
I don't even think it's spelled the same.
I think you're just trumping out here.
Lack of fervor for my bad joke is not good, so I'm going to assume it's not funny. I did look him up because I didn't know much about him. Did you know that in 1971, He was the 3rd round pick in that MLB draft, the 3rd of 1971's MLB draft. He went to the Expos.
Third overall or third round?
3rd overall.
Wait, we
I
were
had
talking
no
about the
idea.
judge or the soap opera guy?
Jack Scalia. Yeah, the main character in this movie.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't look up any of his stats or if he was successful or not. But third pick overall. That's pretty good. Apparently, it didn't work out too well because he had to switch to television. But
Yeah, he probably. I mean, or like Kurt Russell, have an ego because Kurt Russell was gonna play the. He was a ball
Keanu,
player. To make it, Keanu the Wall Reeves,
right? Exactly.
Yeah, he wasn't just pretty good. His nickname was the Wall because you apparently couldn't. He was a really, really fucking good goalie.
Yeah, he blew out his shoulder
in hockey.
I think, instead of his knee.
He blew out all of it. That's why he's got a hitch in his giddy up.
Right.
Doesn't
stop shooting people in the face.
Or doing almost all of his own stunts at the age of 50. He just doesn't. He gives two shits.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting that you bring up Keanu because this guy's character is Wick.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wick Hayes is his name.
It should be Dick Hayes. Because that's the reason I picked this movie is because it's like the lead. Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy is a total tool. Wow.
Big time. And the first time we get his reveal, I'd never seen him before because I don't watch soap operas. I was like, Jackie's like, God, where have I seen that guy from? Where is he from? And I'm like, tennis. Because he looks like Tennis Greg. Like,
yeah.
No.
He is. Your hair is exploding out of your head, sir. I know.
But his hair just gets more magnificent as the movie progresses. That's what I told Justin. I was like, every new shot that we see of this guy, it's like, more hairspray and volume, please.
Yeah, it's like he just was like, it's 1990, it's a new decade, but you know what? I'm going to stick with that fucking Lieutenant Riggs hair. Like, really go hard on the Riggs. In fact, I'm going to buy some Riggs hairspray. Riggs brand hairspray. Make sure your head looks like it exploded.
Do you not have enough pubes to cover up the disgusting crabs you have? Rick's hairspray.
Riggs?
Riggs' hairspray. God damn it. I ruined
Lethal
the
Weapon.
joke.
You remember Mel Gibson's hair in Lethal Weapon 1? It's
yes.
out of control.
And I was making fun of it because then you could fluff up your pubic hair so that the crabs, they would be stuck in the pubic hair in the back. And so, you could get laid.
I don't think that's how that works, but moving on. Sam, you got anything else here?
Yeah, to make sure that, we know it's a movie and not a soap opera that's 90 minutes long, they went ahead and brought in Lee Ermey and Ray Weiss, which was a good call. They both did very well in this.
Yeah, well, Ray Weiss does good in everything. I mean,
so does Ermey. They do their thing, and they do it.
I wouldn't say Arlie or Emery was it Ermey or Emery?
Ermey.
Gunny. We'll just call him Gunny.
Gunny, yeah.
He, I wouldn't say he did a great job here. He didn't have a lot to do, but, I like it when he yells. That's fun. But he didn't do a lot of yelling here, so I don't know. I guess he was fine.
The last notable thing about the film is that the music is done and usually doesn't get a solo credit because he usually worked with his father or in collaboration with other people, but Joel Goldsmith actually did the soundtrack solo.
Not Jerry.
Gotcha.
Interesting. Okay. I didn't really notice the soundtrack, so that must mean it didn't suck. So
it didn't suck.
Yeah.
No, that's what's the best part about this movie, even though it sucks. Like, its pieces don't suck that bad. Like, it's for what they started with and where they ended up, you're like, wow, that's a lot better than I would have thought you would have done with all that crap.
Yeah. All right, so let's dive into The Rift. We should mention it's currently streaming on Amazon Prime. If you haven't watched it yet, go do it.
And it's the 1990s version.
1990, not the 1990s. The 1990s is a decade. They didn't release this in an entire decade. Like, it's not Game of Thrones. It was released in 1990.
Also, is there other versions of this movie,
Right.
Jackie?
There are. When we looked up The Rift on Amazon, it had like 6 other The Rifts.
Yeah, but not the share the same title, not a different version of this film.
I would also like to point out that the poster on Amazon has a giant jellyfish as the villain. We never see that.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's get into it. So we get introduced at the very beginning to our hero, Wick Hayes. He appears to be like every other dude with curly hair that's living in Pomona from every other movie we do. He lives in this just dumpy apartment. He's got beer cans scattered all over the place. He's literally got a burning cigarette sleeping next to him. That's his girlfriend, is his burning cigarette. And two tough guys come up to his door, and they're like, they knock, and he's like, "Oh, hey," and then they just walk in. So I guess, Pomona in 1990 was a nice place to live. You didn't even have to lock your door.
See, I don't think he's in Pomona. I think he's in like Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
But yeah, they just come in and they give him a tonic water shower, like time for a bath, and they dump some tonic water on his head. They're like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm trying to be Miami Vice. Everybody's trying to be Miami Vice right now."
Yeah, so they wake him up and they're like, "It's time to go. You've been called in by," I can't even say what the name of this villainous corporation is. That's just what's his name's character from Aliens.
It's a private corporation.
Right.
This is not a government mission. So, okay.
But he gets called in like, "Hey, you're the designer of the Siren series of submarines. We've got to have a conversation with you because there's been an incident on Siren 1. Your buddy died in it. You guys were super tight. I know. He didn't even have any lines. That's how tight you were. But there was some sort of incident, a meltdown, or just it combusted. What the fuck happened to Siren 1?
We never find out.
Yeah, not really.
We kind of find out, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is actually, I can tell you from experience, the plight of a designer.
Mm-hmm.
Usually when you design something, they're like, "Yeah, we're going to need you to go in and pilot it." I had this happen. I designed a logo for a company that built helicopters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Well, you designed the logo, so we need you to come in here and fly it."
Yeah.
You're going to have to turn it upside down and definitely fly it through an explosion.
Yeah,
that happens all the time to designers.
You got to get to the evac, the evac zone, and pick up a troop of commandos, and they're going to be running, and bullets are going to be coming at the chopper, and then eventually you're going to have to take off. And if you see Willem Dafoe on the ground, just pretend he's not there. Just take off. Leave him there.
They're like, "What? We'll give you everything you need. What do you need?" I'm like, "Adobe Illustrator?"
I could draw a chopper, I guess.
Yeah, here's the explosion and me flying through it. Can I fucking go now?
You just come into the briefing room with like one of those doodles that you did when you were in like the 6th grade of like tanks on the ground and then a chopper and like the little lines for bullets, and they're like, "Mission accomplished."
Yeah, well, here's how it backfires on you. You're like, "Oh, I'll fucking show these cheese dicks and make them the worst PowerPoint they've ever seen in your life."
Yeah.
Which actually ends up being the best PowerPoint they've ever seen in their life,
Right.
because people that use PowerPoint don't know how to use Illustrator. And so you're like, "Oh, fuck, I just fucked myself. They think I'm serious."
Right, so they're like, there's a radiation leak down there, and he's like, "Radiation?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we slapped some nuclear engines on it." He's like, "I didn't put those on there." And they're like, "Well, that's because you designed a submarine that didn't have engines, so we had to put something on it. So we put a nuclear engine in there."
He's like, "I didn't design it that way. I designed it with diesel because I'm from the 50s.
With oars. With
Yeah.
40 dudes and oars.
There's a series of rats in wheels. If there's enough rats in wheels, it'll go like a hell.
How
Trust
dare
me.
you change my submarine to the same thing that all the other submarines are, you bastard." So they're like, "So we want you to go down there, see what happened, and report back to us, and you can take Siren 2. You're going to link up with the NATO team because we have access to NATO, and NATO's like, yeah, we care about your private corporation submarine rather than just indicting you for having nuclear explosions underwater or whatever."
Well, supposedly it's a rescue mission, and they're like, "Oh, or at least a recovery mission or something like that." But either way, it should be raising red flags to him. Like, why are you sending me?
Right, exactly. And then it gets even more red flaggier later, but we'll talk about that when it happens. So he links up with the NATO team. Nobody likes him. They all give him the stink eye. They're like, it's your fault that we're here in the first place. You built this stupid submarine, and now I don't even want to do this. Also, these guys, like when you get the Marine introduction in Aliens, yes, it's annoying because their dicks are so fucking hard for each other. But those guys had skills. They seemed like they belonged on a mission in space where they had to maybe fight some aliens. Except for Bill Paxton. But these guys clearly have no business being on a submarine. There's beer cans littered all over the place. They're smoking and like just being like, hey, you're a fucking douche. And like, it's not even like tough guy like, you're a douche. It's like, hey, you're a douche. No, I'm a douche. You're a douche.
Well, not to mention that the diver looks like he just got off of a surfer movie.
Right?
Or came back from surfer camp because he's totally got that haircut.
Uh-huh.
Also, the submarine is a little large on the inside.
Yeah, it's like the TARDIS.
Like, the lunchroom is bigger than the submarine, and that's just one room.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, sexual harassment isn't encouraged. It seems to be demanded in this workplace.
Yeah, boy, skeets. Woof. Man. Not good. Yeah, there's like this lady, like she's the hot, right? The movie tells us, named Anna. And you think that she's gonna be the end, like gets away with our main guy because only two people can survive in any movie, a man and a woman. It's so fucking stupid.
Well, and it would have helped along with his divorce.
Well, we'll get into that. Guy, just jump right ahead. Anyways. So the only person that does kind of is nice to him is Ray Wise, and Ray Wise is like the comm guy. He does comms, but he's also he's a corporation man. He's not part of the NATO team.
But he's also puking his guts out in a bunk bed, so he's got to be nice.
What? Why?
Because he's stinking up the place.
Why would that make him nice? Oh, nice. He's
got to be nice because he's like, hey, I know we're bunking together and I just puked all over your bunk bed.
Right.
I got this bag of barf up here. It fucking stinks real bad. I've got the gas.
Spoiler alert, it's Ray Wise, so we know he's the villain. But is he faking sick? Because that doesn't come into play ever again.
He must be because they haven't started moving yet.
Right? So it's not motion sickness. It's just like, went on a bender. I know you like benders, so we're pals. You can trust me.
How much beer did you take in your bag?
Yeah, but
did you bring a bottle?
Ray Wise doesn't want to drink the beer, Jackie, because he's incognito. He's a mole. So he wouldn't ask about that. He's just pretending that he got super shit faced, so that our hero Wick Hayes is like, dude, I also get super shit faced. We're best friends. Here's my social security number.
He walks in, and then Ray Wise is like, man, I don't know if it was the clams, the tequila, or the hooker. And he's like, gotcha, bro. But here's the thing, man. It's all three. That's the trifecta of disaster, brother. You gotta pick one. You gotta pick one.
Dude, I love clams, beer, and hookers. So, oh my God, this guy's so cool. What a great plan on his part. It's just so covert. Anyways, so Captain Gunny comes into the mess hall, and he's like, this is the sorriest looking group of sailors I've ever seen. Put those beer cans away, and you quit grabbing that ass on that lady, and you, why are you such a racist piece of shit? And also, I'd like you to introduce you to Lieutenant whatever her name is, because it doesn't come into play very often, that just happens to be Wick Hayes' ex-wife. And she's here she's our specialist in genetic engineering. And nobody goes, wait, this is a recovery mission. Why is a genetic engineer doctor on this ship? That's strange.
Very odd. Also, I've raised my first question written down at this point in the film when the two qualified people to show up, and you wonder, what did all these other people do before they were submariners?
Right.
Because it looks like they've got zero experience in submarines.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, this is the sorriest. He's right. This is the sorriest group of sailors he's ever seen, because they're not even sailors.
Chef, there's also failed product placement all over this movie, and one of the great failed product placements is every time you see the chef, there's a can of Chef Boyardee at the edge of the shelf, and you're like, this guy's fired, right? He's fired, right?
Man, why does this taste so familiar? It takes me back to... It tastes gross, just so you know, Chef.
Yeah.
But it takes me back to when I was about 7, and I was a latchkey kid. I learned how can openers work.
Do you guys feel like some overcooked pasta and ketchup? No? Too bad. That's what you're getting anyway.
Pasta is a generous word, Sam.
Yeah. Noodle paste and ketchup? Anybody?
Yeah, noodle paste. Okay. All right. So that night, somebody dicks with the computer to mask the amount of radiation that's happening. You know, subterfuge. Who could it be? But then they dive. It's time to take her in. We don't even see like a launch sequence. You know, it would have been cool if like they'd hit it with a bottle of champagne and, you know.
I think this thing's been around for a while. I don't think that you hit it with champagne every time it goes out.
It would be cool if you did. If I owned a boat, I would.
Every day. I'm out here again. Woo!
Jackie's like, oh my God, the champagne bill is stacking up. I'm like, nope, that's why I buy the cooks. Yeah, but like no launch sequence, no excitement there. No leaving the hangar type shit. It's just in the water already. It's like already where they need to be. Like, I guess the base was right next to where the trench was.
And heads up, during this first scene, right, where we're officially getting underway here, they go, if you don't like it, get off the boat. What?
I'll take the screen door.
Yeah, it's already underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too
also,
late.
They become underway, and to skip ahead a little bit, because there's not a lot of anything except people being dicks to each other, they run straight into the first thing that's in front of them.
Radar contact, sir. What is it? Put it on screen. And then they've got fucking icebergs.
Well, they started in Norway.
Yeah.
You should expect, but the way it goes, they go underway, you see it moving straight, then they're running into an iceberg. So they hit the first fucking thing they could. And the captain's like, what the fuck? And Wick's like, hey, the helmsman worked at a 1-hour photo last week.
Yeah.
What did you expect?
He's had about 20 minutes of simulator time. I also like when the submarine hits the iceberg. It's shot so badly because it's just, again, a toy running into something in a pool. No damage happens from the exterior shots. It just goes bonk and bounces off of the iceberg.
They make some metal noises. Come on, give them a little credit.
It was pretty funny.
Like that's exactly what it sounded like. Somebody going into a microphone and going.
Yeah, but it didn't scrape against the iceberg. It just went boink and bounced off of it.
They bounced off because they were going 3.
I know.
If they were any better at their job, there could have been danger there. But they were so bad that they ran into the first thing that they could run into, and they just weren't going fast enough for it to make a difference.
Yeah. And so Wick is like, I told you we should have tested this shit, god damn it, before going at it. And Gunny's like, I'll see you in my office, Buster. Meet me in the principal's room. And they go in there, and he's like, you're in trouble, and you can't go into the control room ever again. You're banned from the control room, which then goes, well, then why am I here? Like, at all.
Yeah. Early in their spat, before they make it into the office, though, Jack Scalia is given a rather awful line that he tries to deliver anyways and fails miserably, which is, if you could open your eyes, then you could look.
Oh, god damn it. I missed that. Oh, Jesus.
It's so bad. And then it cuts to Lee Ermey just looking at him like, son, I'm going to give you a second to think about what you just said, and then I'm going to take you into my office and chew you out for being an idiot, because you're a fucking idiot. I don't care if you designed this thing, and also, it just ran 3 miles an hour into an iceberg. You're a fucking idiot.
Yo, who did Captain Gunny piss off to get this assignment?
a lot of people. This isn't strike one if you're on this boat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so, and I also like that the crew can listen into the captain's quarters whenever they want.
Yeah, that's what, instead of Skeets is supposed to be like the sonar man, I'm guessing, because nobody really has a job that's specific. There's like 3 different helms. You can steer the submarine from 3 different places at any given time. But Skeets, I'm guessing, is supposed to be the sonar guy, and he just uses it to listen in on other people. He's just like, what do you do here? I'm the eavesdropper.
Yeah, I ran a bug into the captain's chambers because I want to hear what goes on in there. No, you would be fucking... At the minimum, you would be dishonorably discharged.
It doesn't seem like any of these people are in the military, though, except for the 2.
They're NATO, I guess, but...
Yeah, but that doesn't make them military.
Well, NATO has their own troops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
These guys aren't them.
Captain Handsome is not part of the military.
No.
So why is he allowing this guy to chew him out? Be like, dude, I'm a private citizen. Fuck off.
Neither's Ray Wise. No, his ex is because she's lieutenant something. So, yeah, I don't know. This ship is a mess.
I would have been like, I don't have to listen to you. No, and plugged my ears. And then he would have been like, oh my God, I hate this job. That's what you get. That is what you get for peeing in public.
That's what got him here?
Yeah, peeing in public.
Yeah,
I've had some time to think about
Harsh
this.
punishment. 3 strikes, you're out, buddy.
Yeah, speaking of penises, after their spat, Gunny tells him to go play with his pecker. He's like, you're not allowed to come into the bridge anymore. Go play with your pecker.
Okay.
Which is really, Sam, the way to say, I don't care if you walk around with your dick hanging out, sexual harassment, here we go.
Yeah. Just as long as you're playing with it. You know,
Yep.
I don't want to see it out there with no hands on it.
Look, Mom, no hands. I said put a hand on it.
It's cold. Get a hand on that pecker. It's lonely. Okay, so they get the black box signal from Siren 1, and they're like, okay, let's head towards that black box signal. And they're like, weird, there's no radiation being detected because Ray Weiss scrambled the computer so that there wouldn't be any excess radiation, so they're not worried about radiation right now, which doesn't make any sense, because why would he, I don't understand the radiation thing, but...
Because they're using radiation to make monsters. And the closer they get to the bing bing sound, the higher the radiation is going to go.
That, they already said that there was a nuclear reaction. There should be it's a red flag that there's not any radiation down there. We're in the wrong place is what I'd be thinking. But, I don't know.
Also, they do find the signal, which is coded.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, the code is David. I decoded it. That's the code name for Siren 1. And you're like, oh, is Siren 2 code name Steve?
Right?
Like, who's coming up with these code names? This is shit.
All right, so they head towards it. It's in this deep trench. And they're like, whoa, what's that shit? And there's plants growing in there. They're like, there shouldn't be plants growing in here. This depth, it doesn't make any sense. There's no light down here for photosynthesis. That's impossible. They don't know anything about ocean biology, apparently, in this movie. And then, so they're like, okay, well, go take a look, dude who doesn't have much of a character. We'll send you out in a dive suit.
This is the surfer that we talked about earlier.
He just goes out in a wetsuit with a diver's helmet on and is instantly crushed to death by because they're at a depth of 25,000 feet. He is pancaked. He
doesn't make it.
Spaghettified. Before the ship even... No! God damn it! You can't just send a man out.
Diving scene and the dialogue and how it's awful. He swims out there, should be dead. He's like... Da-da-da-da-da, I'm swimming around, and they're like, get a sample. And he's like, oh, it's going to be real hard to get this sample. And before he's done saying that, he's already gotten the sample.
Right?
That didn't seem very hard. You have, okay, tough stuff.
Maybe he tried yanking on it a couple of times, like you do with weeds before you're like, I need a shovel.
Maybe. But I think he had a diver's knife and just cut it off. I don't think he pulled the whole thing out. They seem pretty big. I don't know. Whatever. Anyways, he finds some debris, then he finds a corpse, and he's like, corpse, gross. And then tentacles! We've got tentacles coming! And I guess the tentacles grab him and smush him? Because we don't really see what happens.
He gets killed by an octopus, I guess.
What, so it wasn't even a monster? It was just a standard ye old octopus at 25,000 meters deep?
No, it was really big, maybe.
But it definitely crushed him in some capacity because we see all this blood, so you know he's dead. And then all this blood comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it just grabbed him and smushed him. That's, I guess, what octopi do.
Like, I'm a nutcracker. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, your wiener broke off before you died.
It's the nut kraken. Boom. Boom, internet. Boom. Hear me right there?
That was awesome.
I disagree.
TM, not cracking. Okay, so anyways, so he's dead, and his buddy's like, "Oh no, you son of a bitch! I could have gone and helped him." Do we ever see that guy again? I don't know.
Oh yeah, Pierre goes out on the. I think his name actually is Pierre in the movie. I'm not being derogatory. I think his name is Pierre. It's probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes in the search party later, so we do see him again.
Okay, all right.
He's in various scenes in between this and then, just wandering by people going, "He was my friend."
Uh-huh.
He's so sad. He's so busted up. I'm like, my friend. He was my friend.
Captain's a son of a bitch. So mission goes on. They're all sad, but it goes on. Meanwhile, in the science room, the ex-wife lieutenant of genetic engineering has put the kelp seaweed stuff in a fish tank that she brought with her that's filled with guppies. And one of them flops out. It's like, I've had enough of this place. Aye! And jumps out, and it's got green stuff in its gills.
It's got pubic hair in its gills.
Mhm.
Let's not lie. Somebody went into the bathroom, shaved, and shoved it in this poor fish's gills.
I think you just like to say pubic hair.
Pubic hair.
Yeah, you're weird. Nobody likes pubes, Jackie, but you like talking about them.
I like pubes.
No, everybody hates pubes. Pubes are gross.
Okay.
So now there's a giant object ahead. Sir, radar contact on screen. And it's a thing.
Well, we're able to determine how big the toy is they're using because that's just a sea slug.
Yeah. It's just but what's it supposed to be?
A giant sea slug.
I guess.
I don't know. The picture made it look like it was some kind of octopi. Like it was the same thing that attacked the diver before. And it was coming after them next. And then it turned out to be the inside of a clam is what it looked like.
Yeah, it's just this big white snotty thing.
It's a sea slug.
Okay. All right.
So you guys don't know what one of those. So that's what they were banking on, is that most people had never seen one before. If you watch as many nature shows as I do, you've seen one of those before.
Okay, Attenborough.
Does it only have one eye?
Yeah. What was with the one eye then?
That was embroidery, say.
It's like, and I like that in any movie that has a giant monster, it always looks at the people inside, but you can't see the people inside. It just looks in the camera, that's the external camera, so that the people inside can be like, "My God, it's looking right at us!" Ah!
That's how sea monsters teabag.
Yeah, you in there? And so it's grabbing the ship and it's shaking it pretty good and giving it a good crush. And Wick is like, electrify the hole, and the hull, and they do like a couple times, and it zaps it and it falls off. And they're able to go on, but they're like, holy shit, there's giant sea monsters down here.
Down where? It seems like they're still about 40 feet from where they started, but they're making it like, oh, we're so like they don't. For all of the failures of the dialogue, like letting us know how deep they are until later is like one of the tremendous ones. Like, where are you people anyway?
Yeah, exactly. And now
22,000 feet by an iceberg.
Well, now they've got a problem because the ship has a max depth of 32,000 feet, and because of that monster, they're continuing to descend. They've got no power. They can't go do their ballast stuff, I guess, or whatever.
What the hell does that mean, ballast?
That's how submarines work, Jackie. Ballasts.
No, that's on a pirate ship.
God damn it, Jackie. Oh, my shit.
You'd never make it in the sea, Jackie.
Yeah. You should be on this submarine.
I should be
fit
on
right
this.
in.
Yeah, I would be like the head engineer. I'd be in charge of like the lighting. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be good at anything
That
else.
No, you
thing
would be-
and that other thing.
Light bulbs. That would be my specialty. Screwing in light bulbs.
No, on this ship, you would be the engineer. They're like, how does it look down there? There's a lot of pipes and shit. Seems like things are going good down here. How are things going up there?
We've got buttons and blinking lights up here, so I think we're good.
These are the same lights that have been blinking now for the last 30 minutes, so I'm pretty sure we're super good.
Yeah, I haven't noticed any pattern changes in the blinking lights, and we have not touched anything. Do not touch anything.
Is there any words by the blinking lights? Yes, they all say warning. Is that bad? Is it warning me about good things?
Yeah, it's
I'm
warning-
hoping it's warning me about good things.
All systems go. Proceed. Okay. All right. So, Wick comes in. He grabs the stick and he lands it on this little tiny ledge. And they're like, "Yeah, you rule, Wick." And Gunny's like, "Get in my office." And he's like, "So that's the last time you ever break one of my orders." And I'm like, "What fucking order did he break?"
He's not supposed to be in there.
Well, then say something then. 'Cause, like, Gunny wasn't even surprised. He was like, "Get on that, do the thing, and do that other thing." And then Gunny, after he's like, "Hey, don't break my orders. By the way, you're not banned from the control room anymore, and good job."
Well, I think what he was trying to do was maintain his authority. Because he's like, you can't break up the team. Everybody needs to listen to me. I'm the leader. Fuck you. Hot shot with your better hair than mine. You piece of shit. I fucking hate you. Why does every babe on this ship want to have sex with you and not me? God damn it, is the haircut? Is it not a cleft in my chin?
Texas Jack.
Texas Jack. He's also saying, implying, the reason I'm giving you such a hard time is I feel like you might actually listen to me. The rest of these dipshits are fucking hopeless.
I feel like we could really connect after this mission and maybe form some sort of father-son bond that neither of us have ever had in our life.
No, it's, hey, I hear you're getting a divorce. So when we're back up on top, let's do this, right? Let's go out and hunt for ladies together.
Oh, they're going on a weekend pussy hunt?
Yeah, weekend
Weekend pussy hunt. Yep, that's what they... I heard from the computer programmer that you like tequila, oysters, and hookers. I can handle all three. I hear you can, too.
Yep,
That pansy ass can't, though.
Yep, this is definitely an alliance.
All right, so I guess they landed right perfectly where they need to be, because the next thing that they do is they enter into a cave where the black box is at, and they emerge into a giant cavern that's got pressure, like naturalized pressure. They can walk around in suits, but it's toxic gas outside as well.
Sort of.
Yeah, sort of.
Somebody farted.
And they read an SOS signal on the screen, and they're like, "Hey, SOS signal, that must mean somebody's still alive. Let's go check it out." And so they send a shore party out. It's like, what, like 8 people? There's quite a few people still alive, right?
There's 6.
Everybody but the chef, the engineer, the captain, and Ray Weiss go.
Yeah, right.
And the scientist lady.
Yeah.
Lieutenant scientist lady.
Yeah, they got a pretty big shore party. And they find some tunnels, and they're like, "Oh, we got to split up. We're getting too much interference or whatever, and we only got one radar
No,
thing."
there's a fork in the road.
Yeah, there's a fork in the road.
Somebody has to go right, so he has to go left.
Yeah. And this guy, I don't know who, maybe this is Pierre, and he's like, "Hey, what's in this hole that's in the wall?" And he sticks his face in it, and then this thing gives him a kiss on the cheek, and then things weird happen. Okay, hey, before Jackie's got her hand up, let's start with, what is the thing in the hole?
That was my question. How do you describe the thing in the hole?
How do you describe the thing in the
And
hole?
I wanted to go first.
Okay, all right.
Okay, go first.
It looks like a ball sack that's really super cold, that has pussy lips on the front of it, and pubic hair sticking out here and there. But it's also only a ball in the back, so that would be if your dick was scared of a lady. So it would just go into its skin and hide.
And then have a vagina on your ball sack.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it looked like.
It's a fly without wings and a vagina mouth.
Yeah. And it also had brains for eyes. Its eyeballs were all crinkly, not like lenses.
See, and that was the ball sack for me with pubic hair on it, but apparently they're brains to you.
Okay. Question number 2. What happens?
It sort of touches his plastic, and then nothing should happen, but I guess he freaks out so much that the girl has to shoot him and kill him.
It's like, it's grody. It touched me.
There's like one of the, because I think this is Fleming that gets shot, and Pierre's not the guy getting shot or whatever his name really is.
Right.
He's like, no, you can't. And she's like, I have to. And I'm like, I don't know if you have to. Okay, well, go ahead. And then she's like, we lost Victor. And I'm like, no, you didn't, because most of him's on you now. Hey, the movie did that, not me. Like, when she shoots him, half of him ends up on her.
Right.
You're like, whoa, that backfired.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of this whole scene, Sam, I was kind of thinking like, because later on we learned about the mutation, the radiations, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking at this point, like reliving it in my head, I'm like, it's his crabs. I don't know why I'm obsessed with crabs today.
Because you're always obsessed
But
with
he had used the Riggs hairspray on his crabs, but then he got exposed and they were like, woo, wow, party. And they turned into like the size of a hamster.
Mhm.
And they're just, yep.
They're just, yep.
They're just
Glad you
running
thought
all
this
over
one
his
out.
spacesuit. And
Glad
they're
you-
like, it's his crabs, shoot him in the head.
Glad your joke started at point A and got to point never.
Sounded better in my head.
Okay. All right. So she falls in a hole and she's like, oh, God, my leg. Somebody come and help me. Billy, help me, help me. And Billy runs up and then she just gets out of the hole. And then this fucking tentacle comes and's like trying to whap her. And then like a giant monster dog comes and starts eating Billy.
It's a lizard.
Yeah.
This really big lizard comes up and bites Billy's leg off, and he just dies.
Yeah. All the monsters.
No, this is Pierre.
Okay, well,
This is Pierre that gets bitten in the
all
leg.
the monsters up to this point have been pretty, like, sea monsters. Like, they don't have... This is a fucking walking beast.
It's like...
This is a lizard the size of a grizzly bear.
Uh-huh.
That just never shows back up in the movie.
Right, and has huge, nasty, pointy teeth. Like, very weird monster creature feature design right here, guys. You've broke with your mold. But then it grabs his leg and pulls it off. I always like it when you don't bite through a leg, you just pull it and it comes apart at some random location rather than the whole thing, or just getting dragged away. Like your leg just comes off.
Well, it's like taffy, right?
Yeah.
The ligaments are like taffy.
Yeah.
Eventually, they just stretch out and snap.
Yep. This is about when Skeets is going to start freaking out the first time. And it's great because I've seen it twice now. And I made a note to try to figure out what the hell he was saying. And I can't. He's just like, I've had it with this, man. And then he takes off his mask and he just starts going, and then Wick's like, put your mask back on. That's not helping. And you're like, wow, it's not. You're right. What is he doing?
Yeah.
I thought he was
What in
calling for
God's name?
Riviera. Anna Riviera. That was the leader of the other team that 2 of the 3 of them are dead now.
Anna Riviera.
Yeah, that was her name in the movie.
So
well,
he's just...
you called Billy Pierre, so I can't trust you already.
I don't know. I might be making that up too. Like, she looks like an Anna.
Wick is like, put your mask back on, and Skeets is like, why? Am I going to die of infection or poison? He's like, no, you're just fucking annoying as shit. Stop it. Stop screaming.
I don't want to drag your ass out of here just in case the air is that bad, buddy.
All right, so back on the ship, speaking of air, the oxygen regenerators have gone down, and they're like, oh, no, that's not good. Go check it out, Engineer Mueller. And Mueller goes in there, and the plant that she put in the fish tank, I guess, leapt out of the fish tank and went into the water system and now went everywhere.
The
Which makes
toilies.
sense. She actually made the report that it has an uncanny ability to grow out of control. And then Ermey's like, so what'd you do with it? And she's like, I left it in the water.
Oh, and I put photosynthesis lights on it so that it would grow.
And a food supply. Yay!
Yay! Science!
What's the food supply? Us.
Well, and the guppies. All right, so back on Team Hayes, they've found a lab, and there's food in there, and they're like, what the fuck? Why would... This doesn't make any sense. There's too much equipment down here for a submarine. And then they find some spooky skeletons, and
they immediately load their bags with anything that is not Chef YRD.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, M&Ms.
They're like, oh my God, Campbell's, load it.
Fucking Francesco's food sucks, right? I'm not alone in this, right? Guys?
Open your backpack. I'm shoving these in there.
Oh, yeah. His food's fucking terrible. And I like that the skeletons are not like fleshy dudes who died like a week ago. These are skeletons that have been there for a while.
Yeah, they've been dead a while.
Mm-hmm.
Like years and years and years.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know, guys, because I kind of see like when the seaweed monster attacks people, it pretty much eats off all their skin and flesh and stuff, right? So it could have been like a couple of weeks.
What? Where are you getting that information?
The engineer guy from the engine room that goes in and gets infected.
He just got all goopy.
No, dude. Like, you look at him later in the fight scene at the end, and he is a Skeletor.
No, he's not.
Yes,
That
he is.
doesn't
He's
even
goopy.
line up. That doesn't
Sam,
even
back
line-
me up here.
No, I'm going with Goopy.
Yeah.
God damn
that,
it.
That wouldn't work if he was a skeleton because of what happens later. Anyways, so these guys have been down there for a while. They're dead as shit. They find some discs, and Wick Hayes is like, oh, I'll take these data discs. Also, we're out of here. Wait, what about the black box? Forget the black box. We've got floppies.
Yeah, he's got 2 floppies, and I'm like, shouldn't you look around a little bit more?
Nope,
Like-
this'll do.
Just a little bit more.
This one's marked Wolfenstein, so we're
Yeah.
out of here.
No, sir. Wolfenstein took 4 discs to load.
Oh, yeah, right.
Wolfenstein doesn't even fit on 2 discs.
We've got half of Wolfenstein. Do you got Ski? That comes with Windows 3.1, you asshole. Let's go. All right. So Mueller is now goopy. He's covered in weeds. They slime him. One of them like grabs him because I guess the weeds are now sentient as well, and pull him in, and he gets all gooped.
So that's what. Okay, so this is one of my questions. I was waiting to burn this one because I kind of wanted to burn it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But now that we've talked about this, right? The seaweed being sentient.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that the first surfer diver guy was killed by the seaweed or a sea monster?
It's possible he was killed by the seaweed because the only thing we see of an octopus at all is just a B shot of an octopus's tentacle.
Yeah. The octopus is like, oh shit, the seaweed's about to get real. I'm getting out of here.
I'm getting the fuck up out.
Yeah,
It
because
must
the
have been the
seaweed
seaweed.
also looks like a tentacle.
Kind of. It looks more like bubble wrap that's been painted green, but no, I like that idea. He was crushed by seaweed, not octopus.
I think
that was a red herring.
He just got tangled and died because he's as shitty at his job as everybody else in this movie.
And then hit the button on his suit that causes his suit to explode you from the inside. Oh, why did we even put that button on there?
Yeah, he's like, we need a sample of that seaweed. I don't think I can do it. You've already cut it off with your knife. Okay. How are you doing now? I'm dying.
And then they find Mueller, and Cookie, the chef, Francisco, is like, oh, man, I don't feel so good. Why? I drank some of the water. And they're like, no. And they lock him in the kitchen, the mess hall, I guess. Quarantine him.
Yeah, and this is a terrible idea. We've already got one dead body in the air ventilator shaft.
Mhm.
Let's just push him in there. Wonder if we need medical supplies, and he's just seaweeding up the place.
Well, we definitely don't want his cooking, so we're good there.
Yeah, we don't want him cooking on a bed either. Let's just throw his ass next to the other guy.
Yeah, no shit. Put him in. Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, one quarantine spot is way better than two.
Right? With your food supply. Okay. The raft gets back, and some dude, maybe this is Pierre, he falls in because we can't see any of these guys' faces because they're wearing masks.
Pierre gets his leg bit off.
No, that was Billy.
Yeah, Billy
Pierre.
gets his leg bit off.
Billy Pierre.
Billy
I
Pierre.
don't think there's even a Pierre in the movie.
I don't know who this third guy on the raft is. I mean, we got Skeets and our main guy.
Fleming got his head blown up all over Amy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So who the hell is this third dude?
I don't know, but he falls off the raft being a klutz. Not like the monster comes and bogs the raft and knocks them off. They just, whoa!
Yeah, I actually, having seen it twice now, the first time I saw it, I was like, they really just fell out of that raft and they used it for the shot, but that wasn't like, let's try to fall. Like, they just couldn't get out of the boat and they both fell over. And the second time I watched it, I'm absolutely convinced that they just fell over.
All right, use it. Got it. That guy was going to get it in the next scene anyways, but this is better. He gets eaten, I guess, by some critter that lives in the water. I don't know.
It's like a ray or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like a manta ray. Sort of.
Here comes a manta ray. Duh!
Now there's a narwhal.
Duh!
All right. Now there's only 5 of them left, with Anna still missing, or Amy, or Anna. Anna Rivera.
Anna Rivera.
Okay.
That's what we're gonna call her.
But they gotta leave within. They gotta leave within 2 hours because of the oxygen supply. So the clock is ticking, as it does in all these movies. They go and watch the video that's on the floppy disks. Nope.
Yeah, it's those floppy disks work an awful lot like a VCR.
Right? Yeah.
That's what I thought too. I'm like,
Push the vertical hold key on the keyboard.
Yeah.
I can't have them knowing what's on
here. Can you
here.
adjust the skew on this?
Yeah, right.
How many heads does this have?
Take it out and blow on it sometimes, and then wind the tape. That'll help. Open up the lid and blow inside the computer as well. Oh my God. All right. So they learn of the whole plot. The corporation had a lab set up down here so that they built a bullshit machine that modifies the DNA of critters because they were going to make, I guess, deadly velociraptors that they could use in war.
They made a monster machine in an ocean cave. Deep sea ocean cave monster machine. That's what's happening here.
But it seems like this would be a good idea, don't you think? Because, like, they can't get away. Seems responsible.
What's the deal with, like Jaws is so goddamn good, if you think about it. It's so simple. The monster is just a simple, hungry, frightening thing. But then, like, all these other movies have this bullshit repeating military comes in and wants to get the monster and turn it into a fucking soldier. Like, it just gets old, you know?
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Just be Jaws. But Jaws is good. Do that.
I wonder how many times in history governments have actually just tried to strap a bunch of guns to a grizzly bear and see what happens.
We've created the world's deadliest monster. All right, so they got to blow up the machine or the mutants will reach the surface. That's their theory, which doesn't make any sense because they're 25,000 meters below the sea.
Also, the monster machine is stuck in the on position.
Right? Yep.
So they have to go back in there and turn the monster machine off. Otherwise, it's just going to keep cranking out these monsters.
I don't think that there is an on-off switch, Sam, because their only option is to blow it up, not unplug it.
That's true.
And, not to mention, they don't even blow it up.
Right.
They're just dumb shits.
Yeah, they stumbled. We'll get okay.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
All right, so four go back into the tunnels. This time, Gunny's with them. And they hear from Anna. They're like, "Hey guys, it's me, Anna Rivera." What? And so they go try to find her. She's busy fighting monsters, And she finds this back cave that leads to the machine itself, and where she's immediately tentacled and then pulled inside the machine.
Yeah. So that she can become a monster, I guess.
That's how that works. Is you got to put a normal thing inside the machine, and it's like an easy bake oven. It just goes ding, and out comes your monster out the other end.
It's a monster mash.
Well, and that was my question, right? Are these eggs that they find, is that her and the seaweed breeding?
Oh, like she's the queen now or something?
Like they use her DNA to make those egg pack?
Yeah, because when she goes into that room, I didn't notice those
Egg packs.
amniotic sacs. They don't call them
Yeah.
eggs. They look like fish eggs.
Yeah,
But then now there's fish eggs. She's having a bad time in there.
that's what I thought. Like they made her
yeah.
into what's that thing from that movie?
The queen.
Oh, I thought you were talking about tentacle porn.
The one that won the Academy Award about the sea monster that they kept in the thing, and then she breaks him out.
Oh, Fishman movie.
Yeah, Fishman movie. What was that called?
What is that called? I like that movie. I already blanked on its title.
Underwater sex time.
Up comes the water, along the watch water.
I believe it's called Making 4chan G-rated.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was a good one.
But that's what they look like.
The Fishman?
Yeah, little Fishman.
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
think
those
so
are,
at all.
Those are fishmen.
Well, they are, but they look more like Mac from Mac and Me than anything.
Well, they're little baby fish man.
Yeah. They also reminded me of the fish monster from He-Man and She-Ra that worked with Skeletor.
Yeah, what was his name? Hydro Man? No, that's from Spider-Man.
I can't remember what his name was, but it looked just like him.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Oh, anyways. So she's in the machine, and the others find these eggs, and they're like, gross. And then this giant ceiling starfish is like, now I'm pissed off because you smashed my eggs or something. I don't know. And then Skeets is like, oh, shit, and gets eaten.
Yeah, because he's like, I'm not waiting for this bullshit to happen to me. And he runs up there and starts shooting it in the face, and it's not doing anything. And I'm like, this is the point where you turn around and run.
He doesn't even move when it's like tentacle head is coming at him. He just totally races out and goes, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, he's like, you guys haven't raided before. We all have to shoot it at the same time. This is the damage phase. I'm getting eaten.
Yep, you blew it. All right, so Skeets didn't make it, which is good because I was tired of Skeets.
I was too. This is hilarious though, like, because it's like a flower starfish green of grass or something. Like This is one of the worst monsters I've ever seen.
It is not frightening.
And then he actually does just go, oh no.
That was the best impression yet.
And Gunny's like, oh, God, we got to blow it up. Shoot the gas canisters. Shoots the gas canisters. It blows everything up.
Including the two survivors, because the three of them, right? Because they're just huddled around the bullshit machine.
They're right next to it.
And they never do address the fact that it's going for the second lady, the soon-to-be ex-wife.
Mm-hmm.
And it's trying to drag her, and we never get back to that.
Right.
They're blown to safety.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they just blow up the canisters. They're hiding behind the monster machine that they're supposed to blow up to shield themselves from the explosion that they just made that is completely ineffective at blowing up anything. And then they leave.
Yeah.
Monster machine
but
is not blown up.
They do blow it up. There's a shot of it exploding, and then it cuts back to Ray Wise, and he looks on the monitor, and all their health meters are at 0, and he's like, time to reveal my evil plot to the audience, because they couldn't see that I'm Ray Wise and clearly was going to be the villain.
He's like the villain that puts Metamucil in cookies or X-Lax in cookies and just waits for shit to happen.
Waits for Halloween.
He's like,
Waits for shit to happen.
Exactly. Thank you, Sam. Somebody picked up on my joke.
And he's like, all right. Oh, God, what's that guy's name? From Not Shoot Me, the show with Helen Hunt. God damn it. Greg Lewis? Jerry Lee Lewis?
Nicholas Jack Nicholson?
Where they're married.
Mad About You?
Mad About You. What's his name?
Yeah, I can't remember that guy's name.
Not Ray Romano.
Jerry Lee Lewis.
No, Jerry Lee Lewis was that sad clown guy.
No, that's Jerry Lewis. Jerry Lee Lewis was the piano man who had sex with his 13-year-old cousin and got married to her. Great, goodness gracious, great balls of fire.
Yep.
Man, I can't remember his name. That sucks because I want to just call him. He's that guy from Alien, and he's like, well, that wraps things up. I'll just take this information back to the military or the corporation. They can sell it to everything's cleaned up. I'll leave. Gets in the escape pod, and
then goes about doing some weird shit. Like, what are you doing, dude? Escape.
Well, he can't escape because the lid on the submarine is open, and I guess you have to submerge to use the escape pod, and the submarine can't submerge with the lid is open. I don't know.
This seems like a really poor idea for a submarine.
He even says that. He's like, God damn, poorly designed piece of shit.
This is a poorly designed piece of shit. Also, I will discover that I can just hit autopilot, and this thing is going to take itself out of here and back to where it came from without running into fucking anything. Whereas when we were driving it, we were running into everything.
Yeah, the escape pod does not make sense, but we'll get to that here in a second. So he's got to go close the lid. So he goes up there, and he's like, oh, shit, they're still alive? Cough, cough, because the air is sort of toxic at times. He's like,
yeah.
Not very toxic.
It's enough to give you diarrhea later.
Yeah, well. Everything gives Ray Wise diarrhea. And so they managed to get in. We're going to skip that sequence because it's not interesting. He gets the drop on him. He's got a gun, and he's like, come with me, and sticks him in one of the quarantine rooms where the goop is at. And they're like, God damn it, no. So he's headed back to the escape pod. Okay, that's wrapped up. I'll just let these guys die. They're like, no, you're not. I'm Wick Hayes, I designed this thing. There's a secret panel that I went into, and I pulled the solenoid out, and the entire power died.
There's also, before he does that, and he pulls out like a little Motorola chip or something, he's like, Captain, help me with this 2-pound shelf. Did you notice that? That they had a hard time acting like it was heavy? That Lee Ermey's like, Can we do this over again where he just moves the shelf by himself? Because it's 2 pounds.
No, it's got to be heavy. Otherwise, that's a plot hole. It would have fallen over, and Ray Wise's character would have known that there was a secret panel there. And even if he had, would he have peeked his head inside and been like, hey, there's a secret panel in here with the chip that could shut down the entire ship? Yeah, no, doesn't work.
No.
So now Ray Wise's character can't leave the ship again. And he's like, God damn it. So he calls them because they've got intercom televisions everywhere. And Wick Hayes is like, got your little chip. You're going to have to come and get it. And Ray Wise is like, God damn it. I never get it. Every time I do it. Poorly designed ship. And walks down there. But Gunny, they've built a trap to make Robbins think that Gunny's sitting in a chair in front of him. But Gunny's behind the door. And Gunny jumps on him. They get into a big fight.
Yeah. It seems like Gunny should really beat the shit out of him a lot better. But he needs Wick's help a little bit. And then he's like, no, I got this. And then after he starts kind of slamming his head on the ground, this is one of the most strange and amusing kills I've ever seen in a movie. He looks and he sees the engineer's deadish body covered in bioslime, and he like grabs Ray Wise's head and like starts rubbing his face in the dead
take
guy.
it,
like,
buddy.
Oh, take that. That'll gonna get you. And he's like, no, oh no, stop it. Oh God,
it's in my mouth.
Killing me. Stop. Ah. And then he just gets up and leaves. And then Ray Wise fucking eat all the shit Ben Kingsley on this death. It is great.
Yeah, see, it wouldn't work if Mueller was all skeleton-y, Jackie, because then there'd be nothing to goop Ray Wise up with.
He was kind of okay. Yeah, no,
he was.
I cannot even deny it. It was a great scene. That was my favorite scene of this movie.
Absolutely.
When he was like, just give it a little kiss.
Give him the gross face.
You like it? You like eat it? Yummy, yummy, yummy. He like goes cathartic as a schoolyard bully. He's like, your face is in it. Ah.
That's exactly what it reminded me of. Pleasant memories of childhood.
All right. When you got toxic slime thrown on your face by the bullies.
No.
Yeah. Well,
Other way around.
God
honey.
knows I did.
It was like, eat shit, Rory. I know you're allergic to dandelions. Eat shit. Ah! Okay, I might have done that when I was in elementary school. This kid wouldn't lend me a pencil. So at recess, I got mine. Eat shit, Rory Anderson.
I'm very sorry for what I did to you, Rory.
Says Justin only.
As an adult, I should look back on my life and realize I am a prick.
And you should look back on your life and say, this all could have been avoided had I just given her one of my 16 fucking pencils. I'm just saying. You stingy, stingy bastard.
You owe Rory an apology. I'm still on Rory's side here. Those were his pencils, not your pencils.
Fuck you, Rory Anderson.
Jesus.
All right, so speaking of Rory Anderson, the self-destruct sequence is initiated.
Yeah. Well, also, yeah, they initiate the self-destruct, and then he takes him to the pod, and he's like, you guys got to go alone. And they're like, but you're not coming with us? And then he shows him his hand, and it's got like a circular O-ring mouth growing on it.
Right.
They're like, oh no, he's gonna die.
So did he get that because of what he did to Ray Wise?
Yeah, he got some on himself.
Yeah, so that's the karma for being a prick.
Yeah, for being a prick. That's what happens when you rub somebody's face in dog shit in the schoolyard. You're gonna get some on you.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen.
Learn
But-
your lesson.
Unless you hold them with your fingers firmly laced in the back of their head, Sam, in their hair so that it only gets on the hair.
Oh, no.
And then you can let go and you're like, I'm good.
See, this is a metaphor, Jackie. You're not picking up on what we're talking about.
Oh.
Like, you don't actually get the punishment or the slime on you. You diss a disease for 8 months and pretend it's a hoax, and then it ends up getting you. It's karma, Jackie. You have got the Rory Anderson karma. And Rory Anderson's probably like a doctor. He lives up in the hills, probably got a smoking hot wife and a Ferrari. And you live in basically a basement.
With a troll.
And you have to hang out with us. So, yeah.
Winston, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you a troll. You're a very handsome young dog.
Oh, I think you called me a troll. I think you got your just deserves on the Rory Anderson.
Rory Anderson could suck my ass, okay? Fucking give me a pencil, you dick. Anyway...
no, we need to go back to the fact that he now has a mouth on his wrist.
Yeah.
None of these
got a
things
mouth
were
on his
breathing
wrist.
before.
So he's now got a 50-50 chance where you put your wiener in there.
That's what I was thinking. Like, dude, he is totally like, see you guys later. He's not waiting for them to leave. He's
Yeah.
like, I got to go see if I can fit my dick in this weird
Well-
alien mouth.
Because he's going to die anyway, and he's like, well, I'm either going to get the best blowjob of my life from myself.
I could play with
Or-
that pecker.
My arm is going to bite my dick off.
Right.
50-50.
Yep.
I'm going to roll the dice.
I'm with you, Sam. I think I would try it. I'd be like, well...
All right. So Wick and his ex-wife get in the escape pod. They take off and just go straight up because I guess the cavern is also not now a cavern.
It farted. There was an explosion and there was a huge fart. And it
The
blew them
cavern
up.
farted.
That's what they're saying, is that the explosion caused a huge fart and it blew them up into the...
Farts
Yeah.
require butts. What has a butt inside the cavern that's farting?
All of those, here comes the manta ray.
That doesn't make any sense, goddammit, Shaggy.
The monster
Mary's good
mash
fart.
is expelling gas.
But there's a cavern roof. In order for something to be a cavern, there's a ceiling. They can't just go straight up.
They get outside of it, and they don't even have to worry about the danger bubbles this time.
Right. It doesn't make any
Because there's
goddamn
danger
sense.
bubbles on the way in.
But even that doesn't make sense because the self-destruct sequence, the purpose of the self-destruct sequence is to blow up the entrance, the rift, as it were. So they can't go through there because that shit's going to be sploded.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Ermey takes it back in after they eject-ish. He runs back, and then remember he says, fuck you, to the self-destruct sequence and hits enter before it blows itself up and blows
What
up
was
the
that?
ship before the self-destruct sequence can finish, thereby telling the self-destruct sequence to go fuck itself.
I got this.
1 second before it's going to go
Right,
off.
I don't get that at all. What the fuck? The last 4 seconds of this movie is a complete breakdown of continuity and sense. That's for sure.
Well, because there was a bunch of that in the first
I
80 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
I thought it was a good... No, this movie stinks all the way through and through.
And I hated the ending of this movie. I'm just going to throw it out there. Like, hold hands, and then she holds his other hand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they have a baseball bat between them, and whoever ends up on top of that baseball bat wins, you know?
Or
That's how they decide
you-
who's driving the escape pod.
Did you notice the essential failure of that shot? The watch on her arm is twisted directly towards the camera at one last chance for product placement, but it was out of focus, so you can't tell what kind of watch it is.
Nice.
I bet it was
It's-
a Timex.
It's got to be a Timex, but
Yeah.
still, like, don't do that. The last shot of the movie, you're going to push Timex? Really?
Oh, this is 1990, so it was probably a Swatch. Yeah. Swatch.
Casio. Well, no, they didn't have dials on Casios.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, questions.
I'll go first.
Jackie.
Who was the most heroic man in this movie?
Gunny, I'm guessing, because he rubbed a... Well, that's not really heroism, as we've explained by...
Or best looking is what I'm getting at.
Oh,
Okay,
God.
who's the best looking one? That's what
Heroic?
I'm talking about. Heroic / best looking. It could be
The
Pierre.
engineer.
That surfer dude.
The surfer dude, Sam says.
Frank Brana, the engineer. Yeah, Frank Brana.
Why?
Oh, yeah, he
because
totally-
he's, like, for an old dude, he's just stacked as shit.
And he looks like he could kick everyone's ass on the submarine. I'm with
Yeah.
Sam. That guy could just be like, you know what? I'm fucking sick of you. He'd stab you 3 times right in internal organs, and you just fucking die.
Okay. That was a weird question.
I'm just saying the manliest / handsomest.
Manliest. Not Wick Hayes, not Jack Scalia.
Wick Hayes. Who the fuck names their kid Wick? I mean, that was my next question. I'll just get to it. Wick.
Also Wick.
Yeah. Who the fuck names their kid Wick?
Yeah.
Like, are you a
Maybe it's
candle
short
maker and
for,
you're
like,
just trying to pass
Wickersham.
things along? Go, Sam.
Maybe it's short for, like, Wickersham.
Wickersham.
I know
Very
a guy whose
common
last
name.
name is that, so.
Yeah. Well, there's all the, like... he's an American. It doesn't make sense. There's all the Wicks in England, right?
Mhm.
But those are, I think, last names?
Not first names.
Yeah. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
You could totally make fun of him for
Wick
his whole
Hayes.
life, like Wick. Like, your dick's no longer than a wick.
Mm-hmm.
Wick the dick.
What's up, Wick man? Not the bees. Not the bees. That's what you do to him.
Oh, yeah. Is there a shark in that bag,
Yeah.
Wick?
Wick man. You got to call him Wick man, otherwise it
Yeah.
doesn't work. All right. Sammy, question?
I have 3 questions.
Okay.
Does Nina live?
Nina's the ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
No, I believe she has an accident on the way up after she, kind of comes down from the, oh, you saved me, and she starts being a fucking bitch again. And he's like, you know what? I'm not giving you half of all my shit. In fact, I'm going to take yours too. Oh my God, you had an embolism on our way up.
I don't see that at all. Let's go ahead and declare that Wick Hayes is probably not the smoothest of dudes with the ladies, because we saw his apartment and his girlfriend is literally a lit cigarette. I think he is quite desperate to her, and she walks all over his ass.
Well, see, I'm asking if she lives because she rubbed biomatter all over her face in like 10 shots.
What?
She
Really?
actually rests her head on seaweed in one of the shots. She's not going to make it.
I didn't notice that. Yeah, she's infected. She brought that shit to the surface.
Oh, yeah, I totally didn't think about that. You're right, Sam.
Oh, my God.
And then she probably has sex with him in the escape pod, and they create one of those seaweed
Monster
babies.
baby.
Monster babies that we saw down in the basement.
Mm-hmm. But this one's like, it doesn't need an amniotic sac. It just comes out and it's like, brains. And then you got the whole Rosemary's Baby scenario, everything. Like, yeah, no, the apocalypse has come because of her dumb ass. Yeah, she doesn't make it. Well, I mean, I guess she does. She just transmorphosizes into something else.
Her vagina becomes a gaping fish hole.
Yeah. Well, she's a monster. You don't just you become a monster too when you get the
joke.
No, I guess you just die. You got to go into the monster machine to become a monster.
Yeah.
Okay. No, she
question.
dies,
Question 2. Does anything actually have a self-destruct sequence?
in anything,
'Cause,
like in real life or just in movies.
in real life, because I know that like Navy vessels don't. You just have to do a series of things to scuttle the vessel.
Uh-huh.
They don't actually, because if they had that, somebody would push that button at the wrong time and blow it up.
What about like the ISS? Well, no, that's an international. You wouldn't blow that up on purpose. What about like something like the stealth fighter back in the 90s? Like what if somebody got their hands on that and you'd want it? No, then you just crash it into the ground.
You still got to rip the computers out. They go down there and they rip all the vital stuff up and then they blow it up. Things don't have. Just imagine if you had one in your car. You'd have like one bad day on the freeway and you'd be like, nope, today's the day.
Oh, I have a self-destruct sequence in my car. It's called the gas pedal because I'll wrap any tree. I'll wrap anything around a tree. You know. No, I can't think of any. Like maybe back in the day, like some of the like maybe like the. I would say the rockets, like, you know, because of the space race, and you wouldn't want NASA or you wouldn't want Russia getting your hands on one of our rockets. But the problem there is those things didn't need a self-destruct sequence because they just blew up on their own.
Yeah.
No.
Too soon? Like
No.
50 years is too
No.
soon.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell a too soon joke then, too. Abraham Lincoln's head also didn't have a self-destruct sequence on it. I mean, I don't know. Yes, that's really bad.
You too.
Villains. No, I can't think of anything that would need a self-destruct sequence, Sam.
Although I'm pretty sure that some modern appliances just have it,
Yeah,
like built in, like your washer machine, your dishwasher, your tablets, your cell phones are like, all right, dude, you get 5 years with this thing and then it just fucking self-destruct.
Your cassette tapes, when you get missions, those have self-destructs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy at Apple listening to this podcast going, oh, they haven't figured it out yet. Thank God.
All right, what's your last question, Sam?
The last question's the big one. The reason we watched this, sort of, I mean, we watched this because it's fucking zany, but who's the worst? The guy from The Nest or Jack Scalia in this movie as far as, like, no thanks hero?
I'm going with the guy from The Nest.
I am too.
Okay, yeah, I think so. Even though I think that Jack Scalia loses a hero competition to everybody but that guy, though.
Yeah.
In this movie.
Jack Scalia, Wick Hayes has no business being a part of this mission. And then the guy from The Nest has a mission thrust upon him that he can't avoid. But he also, like, does a lot of really stupid things on the way. Wick Hayes really doesn't do anything that's stupid. He's just like, why am I here?
I would also like to say that the guy from The Nest, if he would have had access to get the fuck off that island, he would have just left every
totally
motherfucker
bailed.
there. He would have been like, I don't care. I'm out.
Out. Outie. All right. Final recommendations on the Rift. Jackie, let's start with you.
Oh, man. God, I'm going to go no.
Really?
It was slightly boring. I did have a good time with it, but I'm used to watching some slow, boring shit, and it was one of those deep sea movies, and I'm not big on deep sea movies, so I'm kind of tainted anyway. And I guess if you're sick with the flu on a Saturday.
Oh boy, it's a flu do. Other than that, it's a don't. Okay. I'm right over the edge on this one. It's a clear do for me. It's still not good. It is slow in parts, but it's a riffer. It's a riffer. It's a rifter.
Yeah.
So I did have fun with it, but I didn't laugh a lot at the movie itself, other than the few head explosions that did happen. I thought it was kind of kind of standard fare for this type of movie, not just the underwater, but a lot of space movies from this era also carry this tone and the pacing of this film as well. So, yeah, it was okay, but yeah, it's a do for me. Sam?
It's a do for me for the reasons you just said. It's the standard fare of studio crap, B-movie, put it on a video shelf, but it's so much more fun than the other ones of those that even though it's not super fun, by comparison, it's a pretty good time. So I give it a do, and it takes a while to get there, but the stuff that does happen is pretty funny.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we got some listener feedback this week, starting with some follow-up from our rerun episode last week where I explained the horrific situation that Jackie and I suffered on Sunday when we were coming back from camping.
Oh, my God. We're lucky to have survived, really.
Yeah, right. And why we
fucking
couldn't do a
9+
podcast.
breakdowns. I lost track after 9.
Yeah. So we got an email from Mark Clegg.
Ooh. Hello, Clegg.
Mark
Clegg.
He says the title is A Stinker Madness Limerick. Two unlucky Idaho campers heading home with their gear, booze, and hampers were shot at by tanks, so Jackie crapped in her Spanx, and Justin's now forced to wear Pampers.
Wow.
At least I just shit once. You've got a lifetime of problems ahead.
Yeah, very. God, the guy is just. He's always got good stuff for us. The singing and the lyrics and the like. I mean, he might want to take up working in the theater.
Dude, he's a funny guy.
He's a funny guy over there. He could be the next. He could be the next Shakespeare.
I don't know about that.
All right, maybe because all right. We've also got an email from a new emailer, maybe a long-time listener, first-time caller. We don't know. Jared G. I'll give you a shout-out.
Jared G. Boom, 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 boom. Jared G. It just sounds like a 90s
Well,
rap
I'm
song.
abbreviating his last name because I don't like saying people's last name that email us, except for Mark Lorkley Game, because he also posts stuff on Facebook and that's public, so,
Okay.
I just try to be sensitive that way. Not doxing people. Anyways, he's got some bad review recommendations. He says, hello, you guys and girl.
Hello!
Hope everything is going well. I got some good bad movie recommendations for you guys to check out. First is Robot in the Family. It's currently on YouTube. Nonsensical the Movie. Wish I could put my thoughts about this movie into words. Terror in Beverly Hills. It's currently free on Prime. Solid action movie to go along with Cameron Mitchell's finesse performance. Sam, we saw Terror in Beverly Hills. We did a streaming do's and don't on it.
Yeah.
It's with Frank Stallone.
Yeah.
Frank Stallone's the lead. It's almost an episode worthy. I've got it back on the watch list.
Yeah, it's in that back pocket there.
Yeah. Space Mutiny. Of course, we all know about Space Mutiny and have avoided doing an episode on it because everybody else has. It's good space jank, he says. Wish Upon. It's currently free on Prime. One of the best unintentional comedies I've seen in years. I looked this up. This is a 2017 movie starring some moderately, not C-list, but like B-list. Like, God, what the fuck is his name? Not... Ryan Felipe and Joey King, that kind of level people. So it's got a 35 Metacritic score. So I added that also to the list. It might be a good horror movie for Jackie since this is Spooktober. So
Oh, yeah, Spooktober has started.
yeah. Take it easy, says Jared. So there you go. Thanks for the recommendations, dude. We love it.
Well, fish, you got your wish. I'll do wish list.
Oh, because you didn't have Wish Upon.
Wish Upon, whatever the fuck that thing was.
Are you sure you don't want to know the plot first?
I was going to do Bigfoot's Wild Party Weekend. So, Wish Upon.
A teenage girl discovers a box that carries magic powers and a deadly price for using them.
Ooh, it's like a monkey paw.
Yeah, kind of like a monkey paw. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I'm in. We're doing this. Wish Upon.
In fact, the first review on IMDb says modern day monkey's paw. So there you go.
All right, I'm in.
Wish Upon, currently streaming on Prime. Good thing it is your pick next. So, Sammy, got anything else
Thanks,
before
G.
we wrap up?
I don't believe I do.
All right. Well, then we're wrapping up. Yeah, Wish Upon on Prime next week. Enjoy your week, guys, and get to the chopper.
Oh, before we break, can I do a limerick for
You can try.
For Clegon?
Mark Clegane.
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 Does it have
Let me
to do
start
with
that again.
Nantucket?
Yeah, right.
No. But before we break, can I do a limerick for Clegane?
You did it better the first time.
Clegane. Fuck. I'm drunk. Let's not lie.
Okay, just do your damn lyric. It doesn't matter. Limerick.
There once was a girl from Boise who had
Something that rhymes with Boise.
Something
A
that
lot of
probably
poisy.
that rhymed with Nantucket originally.
God damn it, shut up, you two. Okay, you know what? I'll work on it and I'll bring it back next week.
Sure you will.
Clegane, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get a good one. I'm just
Okay.
not as skilled as you, okay? Like,
All right.
I read a lot of technical manuals.
There once was a podcast host who wanted to go do something else. So he said, get to the chopper, and we ended. The end. Visit us at www.stinkermadness.com. Follow Stinker Madness on Twitter at Stinker Madness. Please rate and review us on iTunes and Stitcher. Thank you for listening, and get to the chopper.